Welcome to this YouTube channel. In this video we are going to talk about top 10 ways to build positive relationship with students in classroom. Before starting this video, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. You've heard it before, the way to reach your students, help them achieve, solve classroom management issues, and create a healthy classroom environment is to build relationships with them. And it's absolutely true. Building strong relationships with students can help them develop academically and socially, according to the American Psychological Association. But how do you forge real relationships without seeming awkward or insincere? Number 10. Spend one-on-one time with a student. I'm a huge fan of spending one-on-one time with students, especially those who struggle with behavioral issues. In large classrooms, in particular, students often feel lost and that their voices aren't heard. During one-on-one time, a student has the teacher's full attention. Because they don't feel compelled to perform for other students, they'll usually speak honestly. It's important to structure one-on-one meetings, so that they're conversational and pleasant, not punitive. I'll ask a student about their family, what's going on in their life, how they're feeling about the work in my class. Because we've fostered a stronger connection, students are almost always less likely to act out in class after these meetings. Number 9. Look for something to comment on. Another strategy is the 2x10 approach. This involves a teacher having a personal conversation with a student about something the student is interested in for just 2 minutes every day for 10 consecutive days. There's only one caveat: the conversation can't be about school or behavior. I've tried this with students and can attest to its remarkable effectiveness. Something as simple as commenting on a student's t-shirt can open a door to a relationship. Students often wear clothing from their favorite sports teams or musicians. Remarking on their interests can lead to an easy conversation. Talk to them about your favorite sports team, or ask questions about the artwork or stickers on their laptop. Even the smallest detail can help you build strong relationships with your students. I recently struck up a conversation with a very shy student who was wearing the new Nike Blazer sneaker by showing him a photo of me in the original shoe back in 1981. Number 8. Develop an interest in their interests. Music has always been my go-to for connecting to my students, but understanding and learning about any student's interest or favorite activity can help you build relationships. Brenny and Marco were two very quiet young men in my class who did the bare minimum of work, and often goofed off. I felt like I just couldn't reach them. Then one day I overheard the boys talking about airsoft, a game they described as running around and shooting one another with plastic bullets from BB guns with less air pressure. Marco assured me that the game, which is played on indoor and outdoor fields, is heavily regulated to make sure no one gets seriously injured. The boys regaled me with their airsoft adventures, and, honestly, they did sound exciting. Throughout the term, I chatted with the boys about their airsoft military maneuvers. I had no further problems engaging them, and their work and behavior improved. Number 7. Share your stories. Storytelling is one of the easiest ways to connect with students. My students find stories about former students particularly compelling. They love hearing about students who sat at the same desks where they sit now. As an English teacher, I use personal stories to help my students understand difficult literary concepts such as symbolism and illusion. My prom night horror stories make my students laugh, and they help to humanize their teacher. I also often use stories about my own educational struggles to help my students see how important it is to persevere. My teacher friend Jackie once took a test 9 times before passing it. Sharing that story with her students helps them understand that challenges are just part of the journey to success. Number 6. Have a sense of humor. Do not believe the old adage that you shouldn't smile till December. Students need to laugh, and you can have fun while still maintaining strong classroom management. My friend Bill is a master at this. That he's able to laugh at himself, make jokes, and use light-hearted sarcasm in the classroom helps him build relationships with his high school students. His students adore him. Humor can go a long way toward tearing down walls and building classroom solidarity. I love playfully pranking my students, telling jokes I know will have them howling, and even sharing a funny YouTube video to lighten the mood. Playing games can also be enjoyable. I do a literary term relay with my students, that usually has them rolling on the floor with laughter. There's no reason for fun and learning to be mutually exclusive. Number 5. Attend student events. One tried and true way of building relationships with students is to attend their events. Students love seeing their teacher at their sporting events, speech and debate competitions, and drama productions. This also gives you something to talk about. You can say, "Wow, that goal you scored in the third period was unbelievable," or "Your performance on the drill team was outstanding." Trust me, you can create an instant bond by showing respect for your students' extracurricular activities. Number 4. Learn names quickly and correctly. Too often, students, especially those who are marginalized, feel invisible in our schools. Value student diversity and identity by learning names quickly and pronouncing them correctly. Only use nicknames if students prefer them. Never create a nickname for a student, because this strips him or her of the identity that is embedded in a name. Every year on the first day of school, I have my students create name tents and pronounce their names correctly for me. I practice pronouncing their names often. I take up the name tents and pass them out each class period, until I have learned all of the students' names. I greet each of my students at the door by name before class. Number 3. Assign seats, and change them often. We all know that middle school students don't always get along, but when students have opportunities to work together, they learn about each other and discover ways to work together even though they're different. I have my students sit at tables in my middle school math classroom. I assign them to tables of 3 or 4 students each. Then they change seats once per week using an online random seat changer that is embedded in our attendance management system. After each change, the students answer a quick question, such as, "Who would you love to have dinner with and why?" to get to know the people at their table, before spending a week collaborating with them on mathematical tasks. Number 2. Simply listen. As teachers, we often feel like we need to keep a professional distance from our students, but I've found that taking time to make small talk can help break down barriers to learning. Because I've made myself approachable, some of my students will tell me stories about their lives during the 5 minutes between classes. I stop what I am doing, look them in the eyes, and listen. I love seeing their eyes light up as they tell me these stories, and these encounters always leave me a little more knowledgeable about who they are. As people, all students deserve to have adults in their schools who care about them enough to be intentional about building positive relationships that give them the space to make mistakes and learn. If we truly expect our students to learn with us, they need to know that we care about them. They also need opportunities to learn about each other, so that they can build a community in which they grow together as learners. Number 1. Post student pictures and student work. Elementary teachers are very good at sharing student work, but middle and high school teachers often neglect this important practice, feeling that it's unnecessary for older students. I've found older students still need to be reminded that you value their work. When my students participate in the show and tell, for example, I snap a picture of them. Those pictures are then printed and posted on a bulletin board in class that stays up all year long. The students love seeing how they have changed over the course of the year because they realize that the growth and development is not only physical, but intellectual and emotional as well. In addition, students are so proud when their exemplary work, such as individual math projects and group work on math tasks, is displayed and celebrated. What do you think of our list? Which of the following ways you find most interesting? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.